Khabar. I'm Shweta Ranjan, and today we have with us Dr. Pandit RANAJIT Sengupta, one of the finest Sarode Player and music composer. Belonging to Maihar Senia Gharana, he is one of the youngest top Sarode Player from All India Radio and Television and winner of the President's Award for securing first position in All India Radio Competition and Best Talent of the Year Award by HMP. As a composer, he composed music for the Dutch film Dark Amsterdam and the title music for the International Film Festival Kolkata. So this brilliant artist, Dr. Pandit RANAJIT Sengupta, is with us. Let me welcome him to the show. Dada.
Namaskar, good evening.
Kimon ashe? Kimon ashe, Dada?
I'm Bhagaji, thank you very much. How are you then?
Such a brilliant artist that you are. And as a musician, you have reached the world music level. So, you belong to a family. We'll talk about the Gharana later, but you belong to a family where your mother and father had least connection with music. Then how did music happen with you?
Okay, I must say I was very lucky to be born in a family where music was passion, maybe not the profession, because my grandfather, I must say, he was working for Indian Railways, so as my father and some of my uncles. But my grandfather used to sing kirtan, which is a devotional songs. And every weekend, I remember as a very young boy, as you know, I was born in Assam. I'm a Bengali, but I was born in Assam. Right now, I live in Calcutta. But in my early childhood, I spent in Assam. And we used to go to different places in the weekends when my father, my grandfather, and my uncles, they used to sing kirtans in different houses as amateurs, not as their profession. So music was there, and then two of the younger brothers of my father, my two uncles, they are guitar players. One is called Jyoti Prasad Sengupta, and another is called Vijay Prasad Sengupta. They are both professional guitarists. And they both were the first in the family who initiated me to play the mandolin, and then I also played guitar. So my music started not with Indian classical music like many of my friends, but music was there in the family.
Yes. So
I took it as the first, I am the first generation musician, you can say in that way, to take music as a profession.
And you are doing a fantastic job. And we also see a guitar in the background. So can we say that you still play guitar? And
I teach a lot. I teach a lot to guitarists from around the world because I played for the recording industry, for the film industry in Kolkata for a long time before I left for Europe. I was in my early 20s when I left for Europe. But I used to play 3 instruments at that time in studio recordings: guitar, mandolin, and sarod. But due to this technical difficulties with sarod players, we need nails to play sarod because to do the slidings on the fretboard. So for that, if I want to play guitar, I have to cut nails. That's the opposite. So I cannot do both at the same time. So in some special occasions, I still play when I teach the guitar players, because I have guitar students who play guitar from all over the world, from Brazil, from Germany, from Italy, from United States. They are all guitar players, mainly jazz musicians. and very well-known jazz musicians. And but when I show them how to play Indian classical music on guitar, I sometimes have to take the guitar on my lap and play to show them because they don't play the sarod.
Right.
But basically, I'm still now. Right now, you can say I still teach on guitar, but I don't play. I don't perform that much. I
Okay.
play only sarod.
So can we say that today is that special occasion? You just now mentioned you play on special occasions.
It will depend. Also, I should say I had different feelings during the time I played guitar because it is my hand has a feeling when I play the sarod. It's a different feeling than when I play the guitar because on sarod or in any Indian classical music instrument like sitar, you play in one string at a time. But for playing guitar, you have to play the chords with all 4 or 5 fingers at the same time, and in that's why the hand have a different feeling.
Right.
That's why I would prefer maybe at the end of the show to play something on guitar, but I love to play sarod mostly.
So that's your second love, right?
Yes, you can say. Actually, second, third, there are so many instruments. I have recorded professionally 18 instruments
Oh,
around the world in different music projects. And I have collected instruments from all over the world. I had been to Iran, I had been to Turkey, I had been to many different countries. And especially for my son who plays the mandolin, and he plays a special mandolin also, a specially designed mandolin. It's a 19-stringed custom-made mandolin. But as he is playing like I was playing in my childhood, I collect instruments look alike, like which look alike mandolin and mandola, and I have different instruments from all over the world. I collect that, and so my passion for all other string instrument is still there, but I prefer to play the sarod because it's my main instrument, and
right,
sarod has taken me to the position what I am today.
right. So how did the switch then happen from mandolin and guitar to sarod? What was that moment which attracted you to sarod?
Yes, this is very important question because there is two persons in my life whom one I met and one I never met. They are Ustad Ali Akbar Khan. I was so lucky to meet him personally as a student when he came to my university in Rabindranath University, and then whenever I went to United States, I stayed and performed several times at his college, and I had the rare opportunity to learn uh, from him directly at his college in California.
Brilliant.
Though my main gurus are his sons, Ustad Aashish Khan and late Ustad Dhyanesh Khan, from whom I learned the sarod. I also occasionally learned from Khan Sahib's daughter, Mrs. Amina Pereira. So I was with the family for a long time. I'm still with the family of Khan Sahib. So there was one morning that my sister, who now lives in Canada, she was she was learning Indian classical vocals. So she was always switching on the radio at 8:30 in the morning because in Kolkata we have a Indian classical music chunk at 8:30 to 9 in the morning.
Okay.
So there was a 8:30 in the morning. There was a broadcast of Ustad Ali Akbar Khan playing Ahir Vairo. And I was just, after listening to that, my life had a very big,
Change.
different light. I found a very special light. I was playing different kind of music already on mandolin and guitar, and I was listening to all possible, at that time, which was possible to get here in India, because at that time I'm talking about late 80s or mid 80s. I started playing sarod at 86. My first sarod was there. At that time, you don't have that possibility with YouTube to listen to different genre of music so easily. So when I heard that instrument, I just fell in love and I thought I have to play that instrument. And then I was already in my school. Still, I was in my school, and after completing my 10 plus 2, I, like every children, I appeared for the joint entrance examination for engineering, and I got a chance to go outside Calcutta in Jalpaiguri, which is near Darjeeling. And I decided at that moment that I will not do engineering as profession, I will do music as profession. That was a very difficult, very tough decision for me. And then I started to find a sarod, and then I went to Ravindranath University. It's a very important information for many of my friends who don't know that when I went to Ravindranath University, I had a sarod already, not the one I play now. I got it from someone, but I played mandolin, which was not an instrument which is allowed in Ravindranath University to learn music. You have to play either sitar or sarod or flute or violin. So I came with the sarod. I played a little bit on sarod, and they found out that I have music in it, and then inside me. So I told, I have my mandolin outside. Can I bring and play something? So I played a little dhun in Pilu, which I learned from my own sister, or I think it was Tori. I'm sorry, it was not Pilu, it was Tori. I played a gut in Tori on my mandolin, and then the teachers told, "Okay, we take you as a student in the university, but you know it is very tough to learn the sarod, so it is a very
But
tough instrument." So
Dada, you were 17 years old that time.
yes, I was 17 years.
Yes, when you got introduced to Sarod. And then did you think that it was too late for you? Because aajkal to children get exposed to instruments at
Yes, most of my friends who play sarod, sitar, or flute or violin, they started at the age of 4 or 5. But I I should say that 3 years between 1987 and 1990, or I should say 1989, these 3 years, I was really away from the world. I was very much with the sarod, and I had a very I was so lucky to have my Guruji, late Ustad Dhyanesh Khan, who was very strict, and he did not allow me to do anything else. I was already very busy studio musician, but he was always telling to me, and even to my father, he called and told, "Tell your son to be more serious to play sarod." And you will be very happy to know I got my first sarod in 1987, and in 1989, after 2.5 years, I got the first position in All India Radio competition. I got the national scholarship by the Ministry of Culture, and I got the first class first. I got the gold medal in my graduation
you
from
must have
University.
dedicated 2 years completely to Sarod.
Yes, I fell in love. Of course, I fell in love, but it was also because of my Guruji. I am very much indebted to my Guruji, and of course, my family. That, as I told you, my father was working for Indian Railways. He was an IRTS officer, like IAS. He was working for the first ever underground railway in India, which is Patal. We call it Metro Rail. Now in Delhi, you have also
Yes.
metro, but Calcutta has the first metro in India. And my father was very important personality in the administrative department. But he and my mother, and of course my uncles and my whole family, and of course my girlfriend, who is my wife now, she always helped me, or always inspired me to do music, especially classical music. So that's why I had all this help from all sources, so I could concentrate on Indian classical music. But I never stopped. I never stopped composing. I always composed music all through, though I was concentrating on becoming a classical musician, and until I got the top grade as one of the youngest musician. I was in my early 40s when I got my top grade. It was a very pleasant surprise. But then I thought it is a right time to start doing my research work, and then I did my PhD because I was so busy doing my profession. I was so busy building up my career around the world. So I had no time to concentrate on my research work, though I was a net qualified lecturer already in 1993. Before I got my master's result, I got the result of net. I was a net qualified lecturer already.
So we have some viewers, and let me tell all the viewers to you can ask your questions, you can ask any query, send in your wishes to the artist. We'll be taking them during the interview. And we have Gharana Singh with us. I think Namaste Dada. And we have Anjali Mishra with us. Namaste. She has-
Namaste to everybody. Good evening to everybody.
And Anjali also writes, Namaste, ma'am, informative session. Thanks, great. Okay, and Arundhati Sen.
This is my sister. This is my sister, my cousin.
Okay, welcome to the show, Arundhati ji. And she's sending you love. And Ashutosh Shekhar is with us. He writes, welcome. And we have Dinesh Vaidya with us. Hello, Ranajit sir, greetings. Wow, 18 instruments recorded. He's finding it exact. He's surprised to know this. And we have Sabyasachi Gupta listening.
Oh, this is my uncle from Washington, D.C.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome Uncle. And we have Roma Gupta.
Also, my aunt from Washington, D.C. So nice that they joined.
She writes in Hmong language, Bengali.
সঙ্গে আছি, okay. She is with us. She writes in Bengali. Yes.
Kaushik Chaudhary, he writes, Dada, please play one. Okay. So, of course, because such a brilliant artist like you is there on the show, and without music, it will be incomplete. So, which raga you're going to pick up, Dada?
You know, I was really afraid, as I told you this morning, that we are having the rainy season, the monsoon, and sometimes because of heavy rain and storm, we have no electricity sometimes. So in the evening, around 6 o'clock,
So, don't play Kajari,
no, I will not play Kajri, but I will play Rag Desh.
Rag
I will
Malhar.
play Rag Desh, which is a special raga for, it's an evening raga, but it's a special raga for the monsoon. So I will play a little.
Okay. I do not want it to rain and disturb the internet connectivity, though.
No, no, it's
So beautiful, Dada.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. So you all were listening to Rag Desh, and people are amazed to hear you.
हमसे जुड़े रहने के लिए सब्सक्राइब करें यूट्यूब पर, फॉलो करें ट्विटर और इंस्टाग्राम पर, लाइक करें फेसबुक पर और ज़्यादा जानकारी के लिए नेशनल खबर की वेबसाइट पर जाएं। आपको टाइप करना होगा सिर्फ नेशनल खबर।